It's a look at those trending topics. Hashtag Curo, not for the first time, probably not for the last time. And inevitably when Curo trends,
It's
it's a mess.
It's not for the right reasons again, unfortunately. So we saw this coming out yesterday, and Curo apparently put they apologized for inappropriate stereotypes. That's what they've apologized, but this was something that they put on advertising the different courses that they do, the different kind of things where, they have jobs, but this isn't the only picture they had. So the one picture was of a little white girl, being a veterinarian playing with a little teddy bear cat. Another one was a doctor, also another little white girl, doing an operation or doing some sort of thing like that. And then this was the final picture, I think, of a little black girl being a cashier. And this was kind of taken in, it really did. People were upset by this.
It was taken for what it is.
Exactly.
It is a blatant stereotyping of what the black girl ought to be. And I don't understand how nobody thought that was off.
Yeah.
At the school. Nobody at the school thought there's something wrong here. Maybe this is not cute. Maybe this is not right. Everybody saw nothing wrong to the point of actually putting it up, those pictures. So I don't know,
No, neither do I. No, nobody really does. Oh, and there was another one. Actually, remember there was one, there were 4 pictures.
Was there a little boy?
The little boys who were withdrawing cash from an ATM.
Yes.
And showing how to, little white boys doing that. So it really was. And then they only, I think, deleted that picture. But of course, everybody had already screenshotted and spoken about it. So Curo not again in terrible, in a terrible light. Even though they apologized, but it's perhaps a bit too late for a lot of people. So that's the Curo trend. The next trend we've got is Provin.
And this, of course, the Minister of Public Enterprises, and lots of talk around his indication that he would take that report. Remember, the Portfolio Committee had indicated that they would want the SIU to further probe that now dead SAA Takatso deal. But they wanted further probing with regard to what the former DG had said, that his signature had been forged on those documents. But then the minister then indicated that he would take that report on legal review. And so now it's all the talk around that, because people are asking, so what is there to hide? That was in fact the question from the EFF in that portfolio committee. The DA saying that if he wants to take this on review, he should not use public funds. But of course, there's also the indication that this might not happen during the work of this administration. It may move to the next administration. So it's going to be interesting to see what actually happens there.
All right. Next one is Al Jazeera. And this one, again, starting yesterday, but of course a big trend and a talking point today. Apparently the Israeli parliament has passed a law paving the way for Al Jazeera closure. So Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu promises to use this new law to shut local operations of Al Jazeera, and he has promised to act immediately to stop Al Jazeera's operations in the country after the Israeli parliament approved a law that grants senior ministers powers to shut down foreign news networks deemed a security risk. And as you can imagine, there's a huge outcry to this. In fact, Netanyahu took to X yesterday saying Al Jazeera harmed Israel's security, actively participated in the October 7 massacre, and incited against Israeli soldiers. So I intend to act immediately in accordance with the new law to stop the channel's activities. So that's the latest on the Qatar-based news agency, Al Jazeera.
And all of this happening, of course, in and around Israel and what's happening in Gaza, and 200 Hamas. So Israel claims, the IDF claims apparently that they have completed their operations at the Al-Shifa hospital. They say that they've killed 200 Hamas terrorists. They've also captured 500 terrorists, 6,000 civilians evacuated to protect them from fighting. And they go on allegedly to say that if Hamas never returned to the hospital, it wouldn't have sustained the sort of damages that it did. But of course, this has been disputed. There are other reports coming through saying, no, not what happened. They basically, just went in and did what they've been doing. But then there were other few trends. Israel was one, and there was one, Australia as well, talking about nationals from other countries who had been killed during these operations.
Yeah. Well, I think also the one that happened yesterday, which was a very big one, it's that one we're running in the news, the World Central Kitchen, that non-governmental organization, where they're saying that the Israeli army, during their airstrikes on Gaza, killed a lot of people from Poland, Australia, Britain, and from also one Palestinian, and then what's happening in Syria. There is so much. You just cannot keep up with all of the talking points around what's happening out in Israel and Gaza. So I think that's where we can safely wrap the trending topics for this morning.
Let's park it there. All right, quick break, and then on to more stories, and then, of course, we'll have your newspaper headlines.